Hey there, mortals, it's Ynsin. In the previous episode, SCP Secret Files took a turn away from the expertly crafted horror that we experienced in the first 5 episodes and kind of went more towards extreme cringe. We are just about to see how the developer of this here, whatever the hell we're experiencing, is going to salvage such a weird narrative that we have just had to sit through.
Paper dragons now all but defeated, Daniel spotted a frail figure in the distance.
That's Penny, by the way.
It was Penny.
Yeah, there you go.
It flew gently in front of Daniel.
Sorry for the spoilers.
And affectionately rubbed its head against his fingers.
It's not affectionate, that's blood.
As if this whole crisis had never happened. Daniel felt like Penny was trying to tell him something, but he didn't quite understand what.
I know exactly how the story's going to end as well. We're going to pull out our horrible plastic fife and we're going to play a tune that just saves the day, right? It's going to have to be, it's got to be that. I have no idea what the hell else we could possibly get from this. Where'd the horror go? This is a different kind of horror.
Left Daniel and soared into the air with a determination in its wings. Suddenly, the other paper dragons seemed to be summoned.
Bring back the gore!
Through the air, all together in unison, responding to the call without an ounce of hesitation.
We've got everyone there. Blue balls, red line, yellow snow.
At that moment, Penny turned into a great red beam and rushed fast towards the giant. The other dragons followed, shining together like a shooting star.
Except blue balls.
At that moment, Daniel seemed to see a real dragon flying.
No!
A huge explosion from the impact drowned out everything else in the attic. The attic rained down with countless pieces of paper, the leftover scraps of the paper dragons.
That like lull in the
Daniel
music when he's
wanted
turning
to
the page.
collect all of the pieces. He thought he could still fix them.
Okay, I'm speechless. I am literally speechless. What the hell has begun? This is not what I expected at all. The last story we played was horrific. Like, truly horrific. This is basically Amnesia the Dark Descent, by the way. We are Daniel and we are picking up scraps of paper. We don't know how this is going to end. We've got a pretty good idea, but we don't know how. Oh, there's a bunch of these blocks right here. Uh-oh! Daniel has a secret! Hey. Okay, don't know if I'll cut that one out in post, but... I don't think we should be rooting for Daniel anymore. I think there's something really wrong with him. Okay, where's the last scrap of paper? Oh, it's on the couch. Are there more? Oh yeah, there's heaps of them. Let's put them together. A puzzle! Oh, I am so good at puzzles. Boom! 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 Yes! That is how a secret hunter puts together.
My friend.
Bye, Satan! Everybody say goodbye to the cringe Satan! Oh, I just got an achievement. Touching story. Collected scraps and completed the final message. Right. So it's over?
The nightmare is over.
Oh, thank God.
The earthquake has stopped. With God's mercy, our town is safe. We thank you, Lord, for your protection.
That was Satan! When do we play the crappy flute? Is this a talent show?
A few days later, the art festival was held as scheduled. Daniel attended the show with his penny whistle.
To the dismay of everyone turning up. Everyone, they set eyes upon his crappy flute and...
And now, Daniel Trevor will perform a penny whistle solo of a song titled Fly With Me.
I have that stop clapping effect. Nice. I've never used it though. Don't choke, Daniel! This is your big moment! This is where you show all of the bullies that this actually is a nice instrument. Come fly with me, come fly away. Come fly with me, come fly away. A little bit of Dean Martin there for you. I don't know any of the rest of the words though. Satan was my best friend when I had my acid trip. Oh my god, it's a montage. Oh, I can't hold the cringe! Oh my god! Who thought this was a good idea? Oh my days. Oh, I just got an achievement for scoring a bunch of points as well. I haven't missed a single one, by the way. I haven't missed a single crappy flute cover. There we go. Should I keep singing? I don't know. I'll try and keep singing. When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, grow up.
That's how the story ends.
Thank the Lord!
Now, you might be wondering, what happened next? Are there still paper dragons in the world?
No one is wondering that!
That's a difficult question to answer. But I believe that they are still protecting us somewhere in this world, just like they promised they would, forever, into eternity.
Well, that was a different kind of horror, wasn't it? Oh, I finished the SCP-1762 story. Wasn't fond of that one. It was a bad one. It was a really, really bad one. Like, it was cute, but I am not 4 years old. Why would they force the player to go through a sewer full of people who have been strung up? We murder a king. We escape the SCP, only to sit through that. Oh, that's a different kind of horror that I'm just not used to. Dragon, soar! What lovely paper dragons. I love them so much. Awesome, but where are they being contained now? Good question, Carl. SCP-1762 is being contained at the Reliquary Research Institute, where Dr. Daniel is the supervising director. That cardboard box has remained silent. Okay, so Daniel grew up. Do you think he just lied? Do you think he actually just had this enormous, just acid trip while he was on his chicken pox? And he just doubled down on this whole, yeah, no, this definitely happened, until he got himself his own research institution. Funny. How do you know all of this, kid? That's my headcanon, by the way. I think that Daniel is a liar. I thought you didn't attend the monthly lecture. Probably seen it before. Under the direction of Dr. Trevor, Gent spent 2 years researching SCP-1762, so he knows far more than we do. Wow. Wow, look at Gent. Hey, I told you all that particular SCP didn't suit me. Oh, come on, Gent. But really, imagine you tidying up files of cute little fairy books. It's kind of adorable. Enough already, I'm getting back to work. But I'm going to stress the point again. I'm calling HR. Zoe should not be hitting on Gent like this. That particular SCP did not suit me. I've been here for a month now, and I am entirely adjusted to the job. Though the content of my work is to simply process archive files, it is work that will never bore me. A few absurd jokes aside, most of the archives are really rather fascinating. I've been having hallucinations lately. I feel like someone is calling me, a voice low and uncertain. They seem to be trying to communicate with me, but I cannot understand a single word they say. In fact, I had planned on seeing a doctor, but Zoe told me it was the typical rookie syndrome that would clear up in a few days. I certainly hope that is the case. Okay, give us some more horror. Some more non-Euclidean monsters beyond our human comprehension. Verify with. Okay, login environment is secure. Yes, starting off the program. Okay, good. Oh, I also found, by the way, with these sites right over here, we can actually go to the next area. So this is, we've seen this one, right? This one's the Florida man, right? Yep. So we can click this button right here, go and see some more. So site 66. Research results of organic abnormalities. It is investigated that the growth rate of crops and the metabolic rate of human beings within the influencing area of SCP-569, nice, have increased prominently. This investigation may help to find its source. Whatever that means. Site 909. A capsule bearing the insignia of the Foundation's Temporal Anomalies Department was discovered near Moody Peak, Nevada. The contents included yet-to-be-written Foundation documents and SCP files. Several of the aforementioned SCPs have since been contained. The capsule itself has been transported to Temporal Site 01 RCT, what is that, Theta T, where efforts to reverse engineer the device and complete the retrocausal loop are ongoing. Temporal is kind of like time-based, by the way. Site 816. Foundation has found an Elbrus computer in a Cold War bunker in Eastern Europe. The computer is still running, and it is confirmed to be able to control all missile defense facilities around all Eastern Europe in power-off condition. I mean, did you look for a backup generator? That's probably the cause. Oh, there's so many! Site 17! An incident almost occurred within Site 17 involving SCP-953, who nearly broke out of containment after the assigned drone unexpectedly malfunctioned and jammed the door, leaving a gap slightly open. Unfortunately, her efforts were thwarted by an American foxhound designated Mr. Kibbles, attracted by the pellet that was being brought in and pouncing right into SCP-953. Mr. Kibbles will be receiving an awards ceremony later at 9 o'clock. Oh, lest we forget Mr. Kibbles. I love that so much. Site scientists developed an energetic drug that lets you work without sleeping. Oh, like the Somulator from Rick and Morty. It is said to let you stay up all night without losing efficiency. Behavior may become slightly wired as a side effect, but it is within acceptable levels. At the present, O5 is considering making this drug readily available at every site. Oh, come off it. We don't need that kind of level of micromanagement. The head chef of Site 86 has been changed as per the written opinion of Chief... The pizza made by the new head chef is particularly exquisite. Apparently, the flavor changes to match the person eating it. Like it tastes like the person eating it? I'd still try it. Why not? All right, Site 446, which is in the middle of the ocean. Oh, is this going to be the, like, giant serpent one? Provisional Site 72 reports that the recent uptick in geological activity was not in any way related to SCP-4997. However, the acting site director would like to remind everyone that they are still accepting reasonable proposals regarding means of neutralization that kill it with fire is not a reasonable proposal. We have to check out SCP-4997, right? SCP-4997 is a massive organism currently located somewhere in the magma chambers beneath the Yellowstone caldera in Wyoming, USA. Likely resembling a large reptilian, estimates its size anywhere between 15 to 30 kilometers long by 3 kilometers wide. Additional data suggests that it possesses at least 300 limbs along its body that would theoretically enable terrestrial locomotion if on land. It is thought to be roughly 16 million years old and to have primarily resided somewhere between the crust and the asthenosphere beneath the North American tectonic plate near the border of Idaho and Wyoming for all of its known history. So what the hell is it doing just west of Australia? Oh well, who knows? New data has been released connected to Incident 035-A caused by SCP-035 currently contained at Site 108. Personnel with a clearance of 4 or above may access the data by submitting the appropriate application and undergoing a Level 2 psychiatric exam. A new exploration device has been developed at Site 56, usable even in locations where detection may be difficult. It is expected to enable communication within the field. It is currently undergoing testing. If no problems are found, it will be distributed to the exploration department. Those last two were kind of like nothing burgers, right? But this one here is a gigantic creature that kind of lives below the tectonic plates, which is probably why it's off the coast of Australia here. And we've looped. Okay, let's go into the files here. Yorkshire, England, Site 83. Antique glass perfume bottle, level 3 senior researcher, Victorian era England. 2 to 8 hours, SCP-300. You want me to read this out? Is this what I'm reading? This is nothing. What am I supposed to get from this? Okay, I'm reading the whole thing. SCP-300. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-300 is stored in a locked, climate-controlled container at site. Experimentation on SCP-300 may only be performed with prior written permission from at least one Level 3 senior researcher, and any observations made must be recorded for later analysis. Description. SCP-300 consists of an antique glass perfume bottle, containing approximately 2.4 cc's of an unidentified colorless liquid, SCP-300-2. When a single drop of SCP-300-2 is extracted from SCP-300-1 and the drop is viewed through a standard optical microscope, an animated scene becomes visible. While no two drops have shown previously the same scene, these scenes generally take the form of pastoral or woodland scenes consistent with that of Victorian-era England. So far, attempts to analyse the exact chemical compounds of SCP-300-2 have inexplicably failed, with spectrometers reporting wildly variant or false data, thus making attempts at replicating it impossible. SCP-300-2 also invariably evaporates within 2 to 8 hours of being drawn outside of SCP-300-1, despite all attempts at stabilising the substance or controlling laboratory conditions. SCP-300 was first documented along with something after being recovered from the attic of a row home in something, UK on 1863, following a raid of agents by the Royal Society for the Security, Containment and Protection of Anomalous Artifacts. SCP-300 was transferred to SCP Foundation possession on the 19... I love being good at my job. Addendum. AXA security level personnel should see document 090-B. Document 090-A. Dr. Experiment notes. Experiment 012. Observation is going well. We have managed to develop a system to record and analyze the shifts in the cube almost as quickly as they occur. No correlation between the shifts and any world events found yet. Experiment 48. We observed a 6-segment alignment today on the first side. It was noted and passed without incident. 2 hours later, a research assistant returned from the break room with news that a tsunami had occurred in the Indian Ocean and caused hundreds of thousands of deaths and extensive property damage. No correlation is currently known, but we will make a note of it. Experiment 150. After our 120th alignment on the fourth side of the cube and 120th accident report in the lab, we are designating the fourth side as local and will implement safety measures tomorrow. Staff are discouraged from making bets regarding the outcome of the alignments. It's like a Rubik's Cube or something. Experiment 172. A 6-segment alignment was recorded this morning on the local side. As a safety precaution, site was evacuated. 2 hours later, a containment breach occurred, but resulted in no loss of life due to the evacuation. Object determined to predict global events and not cause them. First side designated as global. Upgrade to Euclid status requested. Experiment 240. We stepped up our experiments today by attempting to modify the cube itself. When D-Class personnel attempted to make a shift, SCP-90 immediately created a 10-segment alignment of its own accord near the top left corner of the local side. Exactly 2 hours later, SCP broke out of containment and data expunged. Agents and were also lost during the incident. Recommended forced shift testing of SCP-90 postponed. Upgraded to Keter status. Oh, that's hard to contain. Approved as SCP-90 is obviously capable of causing events of its own accord. Object may be sentient. Experiment conclusion 01931. The combination of different alignment patterns on its body can cause disastrous effects of different scales. It is presumed that full completion of the item will result in a catastrophe of an unprecedented scale. SCP-90 appears to possess the ability to actively change alignment patterns at will in order to cause destruction. Ah. Okay, there's got to be a picture, right, on the SCP Foundation website. Yep, I basically got that spot on. It's known as the Rubik's Cube. Great! So we will submit this right here. Okay, extension. Understanding memetics. Memetics are the type of information particle that contains supernatural abilities. In most circumstances, the medium that spreads the meme does not contain any supernatural ability. The meme itself is the sole carrier of supernatural ability. If, for example, a meme is written within a book, this does not mean that the book itself is a supernatural phenomenon, only the meme within it contains supernatural elements. Memes do not have any direct physical influence on humanity. Debatable. But all humans exposed to and having perceived the mimetic SCP are at risk of being influenced by it. Oh, right, so mimetics is something that you either view or interact with that is just referenced by something else. So it spreads through the Woozle effect, or evidenced by citation. Someone tells you about it, and then the SCP affects you because it spread to them already. That's cool, actually. That's really, really cool. It's kind of like the old pagan god Bagul, the pagan demon of imagery, that kind of inhabits anybody that looks at imagery that contains him. It's also what the movie Sinister is about as well. Bagul. Not memes. To be sure, mimetic SCPs do not emanate any detectable forms of mimetic rays or auras. An abnormal phenomena will take place only once a human perceives it. In short, mimetic SCPs must first be understood before they can produce an anomalous phenomena. Incident Report 898-14. On September 22nd, 1994, that's a month before my birthday, when I was actually born, the first complete draft of SCP-898 was administered to 30 D-Class subjects who were then locked into a secure chamber number 34 in Site-12. A loudspeaker installed in the room began to play a recording of SCP-444 after all the subjects were safely locked behind the soundproof doors. 12 subjects attempted to break down the doors, presumably in order to escape. 10 fled to the corners of the room and huddled in them, covering their ears, and 8 rushed to the speaker and attempted to tear it out of the wall. After some minutes, the latter subjects were successful, but they continued to show signs of extreme agitation after the recording was silenced. The subjects began to attack each other approximately 8 minutes later. When the doors were unsealed and security teams entered 30 minutes after, a majority of the subjects were either dead or in critical condition, and the survivors had to be neutralized. I was just wondering why they used the word neutralized, but I realized that they are being influenced by mimetic influence. So if they spread it to the security team starts attacking everybody, and they have security clearance. So it would actually be in the best interests to take somebody who is already affected by mimetic influence and either give them amnestics so that they forget everything, or to kill them. That's basically your only two options right there. Incident Report 898-15. On October 1st, 1994, the second complete draft modifications are detailed in Data Expunge of SCP-898 were administered to 30 D-Class subjects who were then locked into secure chamber number 34 in Site-12. Once again, a loudspeaker installed in the room began to play a recording of SCP-444 after all the subjects were safely locked behind the soundproof doors. The subjects displayed very similar behavior to that described in the Incident Report 898-14 initially, but their agitation appeared to cease after Dr. Dahl, the technician overseeing the experiment, shut off the recording himself. Unaware that the microphone in his observation booth was turned on, he said aloud, "Well, it looks like the counter meme worked right this time." Some of the D-Class subjects who were near the loudspeaker apparently heard this as they began to show signs of agitation and proceeded to fight amongst themselves or run from each other, starting a riot that eventually encompassed all of the subjects. Security teams had to neutralize, pow, several of the subjects, but the remaining ones surrendered. Excerpt from interview with Dr. Grienko. Grienko. Since any mimetic compulsion by definition involves the inspiration of an idea in the target's mind, the most obvious defense mechanism was another type of inspiration, preferably one that would create a more powerful compulsion and override the first meme. As near as we could tell, the problem was that the counter meme was treating itself as an invading meme. Okay, so they're showing you like a really messed up meme, right? Like a dark, grim meme that would upset most people, like a Smile Dog or something like that. And then they're giving them some eye bleach. And it's working. If a person infected with SCP-898 became consciously aware that they are infected with SCP-898, 898 would activate. We call this auto-activation. The first complete 898 treatment also had an unfortunate side effect of looping. 898 would automatically detect itself once it had been activated once and would keep activating over and over again. Although we were able to work out the looping problem in most cases, we would not prevent a loop in the case of auto-activation, and we never found a solution to auto-activation. The best we could do was use a workaround with amnestics, and try to make sure that the knowledge of SCP-898 wasn't generally known to Foundation personnel. SCP-898 test log 1992, which is actually earlier than the other ones. Subject, death row inmate infected with SCP-898 strain 3, and death row inmate again not infected. Test. The first subject will be locked in a soundproof room and provided with a written sample of SCP-444 and asked to copy it onto another blank piece of paper. When that task was completed, a second subject would enter the room and the first subject would verbally describe what he had written to the second subject. Results. The death row inmate initially appeared to be unable to copy the text until he resorted to tracing over it. He was unable to describe what he had written to the other inmate, and finally resorted to showing the other inmate what he had copied. The other inmate was isolated along with the inmate. While the other inmate began to show symptoms of SCP-444 infection, the other inmate did not, and eventually they became unable to communicate with each other. Subject 91 infected with SCP-898 strain 4 and Subject 92 not infected. Yes, see above. Results. 91 successfully copied the text and read it aloud to 92. 91 was isolated along with 92, while 92 began to show symptoms of SCP-444 infection. 91 did not, but they were still able to have some limited communication. Excerpt from interview with Dr. Grienko. Grienko. Our early attempts at making a counter-meme toyed with the idea of compelling the infected subject to be blind or apathetic towards incoming memes, but those had even more serious drawbacks than the Berserker serum. In the worst cases, our subjects would become effectively blind and deaf, unable to see or hear or read any language or sense anything else with powerful mental associations. In the best cases, the subjects would still be the effective carriers of the meme they absorbed, even if they were not personally affected by it. In short, we have failed. Looking back on the last 3 years, it seems to me that all we've really done is figure out how to induce a lot of different mental disorders. 05, I see. And you think that this is reason enough to abandon the project? Rengo. Yes, maybe not forever, but it's clear to me now that we just don't have the knowledge base to develop very effective memes of our own. Maybe in a few decades, when our knowledge of memetics and neurology is a bit more developed, we can pick this up again, but for now I don't think there is anything else constructive that we can do. In addition, given the current project safety assessment, we will reclassify it from Euclid to Safe Class. Boy, am I good at my job. Look at that. Okay, we've done our work for the day, and you know what that means? We are going to talk to our friends in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Right up here, you're going to find the playlist for SCP Secret Files, and right up here, you're going to find another playlist that I think you'd really enjoy. And of course, just over there, that's my subscribe button. Smack it. Literally smack the subscribe button. I want you to hurt that damn thing. And until I make the next video, I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching again, and goodbye!